Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's That Astro Witch, and today's video is going to be focused on asking for some spiritual guidance in regards to your career or maybe like your ambition. So it's more like goal oriented today. So let's see, we're going to pull out 4 cards for each of the decks. 4 cards to represent the decks for today. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, and I think this is the 4th one. 4. Colorful. Okay, I'm gonna put that here. So these are the 4 cards, the 4 stones that are gonna represent each of the piles today. So this is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as usual, you can take your time, pause the video, meditate, and then when you're ready and you've selected one or maybe a few of the piles, you can jump to the description box and then the timestamps will be there. And I'll see you in the readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So this was the stone that you were drawn to. I think this is lapis lazuli. I was gonna put it on the table today actually, but then I was like, nah, maybe not. So let's see. Here, yep. Who needs it? Cat people, Leos, and anyone who uses the phrase, in a past life, I'm totally convinced I was a ... Okay, when to use it? When your thoughts are not your friends. Call on lapis lazuli to help get you out of whatever your mind has gotten you into. So, ascend your rightful throne is your phrase. I see. So, I'm going to put that here. And we're going to start by getting some of your oracle cards and see what's going on. See what we can get in relation to your career and what you're working towards. But it seems like you are kind of like feeling low because it says here, your thoughts are not your friends. So let's see what's going on there. Maybe you're overthinking how to go about a situation, but we'll see. So what does pile number 1 need to hear about their career? What guidance do you have? I think this one too. Thank you. Vision. Okay, we're gonna look at those a little more in depth in a bit. I'm just gonna get one here. What does pile number 1 need to hear for their career? That's the one. Thank you. Okay, we'll look at your tarot in a bit. So you have vision, sun in Pisces. Oh, why did I say Pisces that way? Okay, Pisces. And you have, innovation with Jupiter in Aquarius. Now I'm hearing right away that maybe this is something that's so different. Maybe it's not so different nowadays because nowadays there are like so many different kinds of ideas, creations, and companies or business ideas that are coming around. But I feel like maybe this is the first in your family at least, or first among your friends. So this is not very common, and maybe that's why you are kind of, because you have a vision. This is like a lot of creativity. Maybe you are someone venturing into the creative field that helps others as well, compared to maybe usually the people around you are more business oriented or something else, which is not wrong. I'm just saying that yours is very different from what you're used to seeing. So that's why you could be having all these thoughts. Brilliance. Yes. So I'm noticing the sun here, and I'm hearing right away like don't dim your shine. There's a lot of potential here, like even the sun peeking through the eyes here. Okay, so let's see with your tarot cards. What does pile number 1 need to hear about their career or their goals? What guidance do you have for pile number 1, please? Okay. Okay, I think that's enough. We can get more in a bit if we need. So Let's see what you have. The sun, look at that. This is already affirming you, reassuring you that things are gonna work out. I don't know if you are kind of going through a rough patch right now, but then things are gonna work out. You've got 2 suns showing up here, and then you've also got like this kind of glow at the back of this card. Okay. So I'm hearing that your thoughts are not, don't allow your thoughts to dictate how you go about life. It's very vague. Hold on. What I wanted to say is, like, you know how when you want to go for something and then you just start overthinking it, so then you kind of get paralyzed and then you don't make that move because your thoughts are just kind of conquering and just overwhelming you. So then that's what I was trying to say here, that they're trying to tell you that everything's gonna work out. So just take that first step, or if you've already taken that step, then keep going, because I'm seeing like venturing into the dark and you're gonna see the light soon enough. Maybe you're kind of looking for that recognition from others. Let's see. Oh, look at that, the World. Okay, King of Wands, very ambitious person too. 4 of Swords, the Chariot, 5 of Wands, 9 of Swords, the Lovers. Wow, this is like a huge deal happening because you've got 4 major arcana cards already. 5, the Judgment. So I can't fit the other 2, but we're gonna look at these in a bit. But this is so interesting. I think this is something that you've definitely been focusing on for the past, I don't know how long, but then you've been devoting a lot of your time, attention, and energy towards your career or towards your pursuits. Could be artistic as well, I'm picking up, especially with the King of Wands here. It could be more scientific or artistic in nature. But here with the Sun and the World is more about cycles, ending, and closings. So we're gonna look into that a little bit, because I feel like this could be the end of here with the 9 of Swords, that it's the end of your overthinking. But I'm also picking up that it could be that all of this, because these are quite, here you've got the Sun, you've got the King of Wands, sorry. So he's like, this king is very ambitious, very driven. He's very good at leading, very, what else? There's like just a lot of power, very powerful. And I feel like this is kind of showing what could be. Maybe you are afraid that you're not able to reach success, but then your guides are telling you right now that there's so much of this potential that could be unlocked if you just trust them. Trust, it just kind of like, this is your circle. I'm also seeing this in a way that's like a bubble. With your thoughts, when you're overthinking, it's like you're blocking out your guides from sending you messages, because maybe you've been asking for some signs, especially with the 4 of Wands here. It's more like prayer card or rest, and maybe seeing messages in your dreams. So I don't know if you're someone who does see messages in your dreams, have very vivid dreams, or someone who prays, so, or asks for guidance. So what I was saying is that when you kind of block yourself, like you just kind of create this barrier, so your guides are kind of, they can reach you, but they just have a hard time sending you messages because you don't see it the way that they want you to. So one way that you could do is kind of ask them, just kind of like how you usually do, but ask them to help you see it clearly. Ask them to help you understand the signs the way you want, the way they want you to, and allow them to send you signs that you will completely and clearly understand. Like the moment you see it, you'll be like, yes, that's a sign that I was asking for. Okay, so I feel like you've been kind of feeling lost. Like I said, you're lost in the dark. There's a lot of darkness here, but then around you, there's just so many things happening. I feel like there's a lot going on in your head. Now, I'm not trying to dismiss everything or anything that you're feeling, because of course your emotions are valid. Feeling overwhelmed is valid. But also I wanted to remind you that you have to learn to discern whether it's you overthinking or whether it's something that is actually happening. So let's say, for example, I'm seeing this 5 of Wands here, and I don't know if there is really some dispute going on. One message I'm getting is that, like I said earlier, that you are venturing into a field that's completely different from maybe the rest of your family or your friends. So maybe there have been a few arguments about, or just kind of back and forth about whether this is going to be a successful business or whether this field is going to bring you success or like recognition. So I feel like there's like a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but it could be there are a lot, or that you feel like there are a lot who are kind of going against you. So this could be going two ways. Maybe we'll see it more clearly in a few minutes while we're reading the cards. But right now, what I'm seeing is that it could be that other people are kind of questioning you on your goals and your ambitions, and then they just don't see how it's going to work out. So you just feel like people are against you and not supporting you. Whereas there is the other case where people are actually just kind of actively voicing out that they do not think this is a great idea at all. So that's one of two ways, where there are people who are actually saying things, but then there's the other side where you feel like they're just not supportive. Feeling out of breath. I don't think it's from me speaking. I feel like maybe that's how you've been feeling. I don't know if you're prone to anxiety attacks, or because of your overthinking, or if you just feel like you're in a race to kind of catch up to someone. That's just something. I just feel like maybe you're trying to maybe reach someone's expectations, or just a little bit out of breath here. It's just, I think overwhelm could be a feeling, but I don't know how you guys are feeling about that. Anyway, with Chariot, this is also very, Chariot and the Lovers, I feel like they're very similar in the sense that it's duality in the sense, especially when it comes to the Chariot, where it's talking about direction. So next to, in between Brilliance and next to the 5 of Wands, it does make sense that one side that I was telling you about, that the Chariot, it could be that one side, maybe there are some people who are kind of saying that maybe, this path might not be the best way, or what you're doing is going to be kind of, I don't know, detrimental, I'm hearing, or things are not going to work out, you're going to fail, and then you're going to feel like a failure, things like this. But then there's this one side of you that knows that you're so capable of so much, and that this vision is going to work out, like, because especially when it's around the sun here, that you just kind of, you have a deep knowing that it's going to work. And plus, look at that, all that yellow, plus the yellow here at the background. It's like, if I remember correctly, it's about like passion, energy, ambition. So it's like quite auspicious. Like it's a good sign that things are going to work out. Plus you have here the Lovers with the angel and the sun at the back. See, you have 3, I could count this as a sun. You got 4 suns showing up here, and it's like very telling of a very successful future. I won't say right away, because I think there are a lot of things you have to go through, especially with major arcana cards here. It's gonna be, I think this is one of the hugest life lessons that you could encounter, because then you have your guides multiple times showing up here, and it's like they're really trying to remind you that the way you approach this path, the way that you decide how you're gonna go about it, it's gonna determine, I'm not gonna say it's gonna determine your success, because I feel like success is really gonna be there at the end because the sun is here, but maybe it's how you reach your success, okay? So either way, it's not gonna mean that you failed or anything, but I think however you decide to approach this, it's gonna lead you towards success in different ways. So I'm not saying right now that you should be reckless and not think through your decisions before you decide, because this king, he thinks before he, passes a rule or he does something. When he creates new projects, he thinks about it, and I feel like with the Four of Swords here, plus I'm being drawn to the Nine of Swords, and I'm hearing like you gotta cut down those swords a little bit. Like, I feel like when it comes to the King of Wands, thinking, planning, and really making sure everything's neat and tidy, I feel like you do too much of it. Now I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, because it's quite good if you're able to keep things in order, but at the same time it's leading you to overthink things to the point that you're paralyzed and you do not end up making those moves towards implementing what you want to do. So cut down those swords. Like, try to differentiate what are maybe more constructive messages that you're getting around you. Like, are they constructive? Are they your thoughts that you are kind of overthinking at the end of the day? Or is it something that's more rational? Like, let's say if you plan to do something, but then deep down inside, you just don't feel like it's right for some reason. Like, you're not sure why, but it just makes you feel terrible. And when you leave this, like when you kind of separate yourself from this, let's say if it's a job, right? You feel awful inside and you're just literally working there so that you can survive. Now, for example, if you kind of separate yourself and you just leave that job, maybe for another job, but you leave that job and then you realize you can breathe, right? So maybe that breathlessness is actually how you feel, that you're kind of feeling anxious when you are going to work. I don't know if you're feeling this way, but that's how your guides are kind of helping you realize how to choose your path, because you should usually follow what feels good, because then when you do, the universe will be able to put more things that you like into your life. So let's say if you feel good about making art, and then you continuously do that, and then the universe is like, oh, okay, so they are definitely spending more time doing this, I'm gonna keep giving them more of this in their life. And so you are gonna be more exposed to this field. So let's say for another example, right? You're passionate about art, and then you start drawing, and you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna start drawing every day. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this for you to succeed, but let's say, for example, that in this case, this person decides to draw every day. And so universe is like, okay, so I see that, they're really getting into it. And so maybe they start putting in, I don't know, events nearby that are art shows, or maybe they start sending in some artists in who they really like to go into their area to do a little tour or something like this. So then slowly, every time, universe is going to start increasing things that you like. So you have to follow what it is that feels right for you, because you've been asking for this, and the universe is trying to tell you these signs. But like I said, you have to be open to it. When you keep thinking about how things are not going your way, why don't you instead try and focus more of your energy into how you can make it right? Okay, so I'm not saying that we can control everything, but I feel like in this case, there are some things you can control that can change your reality a little bit. So let's say if you feel like, oh, I don't draw so well, but I really want to be good at art. If you don't start drawing, how can you improve? So in this case, taking that example, this person is thinking about how bad they are at making art, and then they're not making. So they just constantly look at other people's art and say, wow, I wish I could draw like that, or wow, I wish I could make art like them. But they could, maybe even better, if they just started, right? So that's the point, is that sometimes you have to go out of your comfort zone a little bit to find out what you like, to be able to expand your comfort zone so you can explore more things. Because the King of Wands, the Wands energy is about exploration, and also just like trying new things. So maybe like this, trying a new field. Okay, so let's see what your last two cards are. The Empress. Definitely a lot of creative energy here with the Empress too. Plus abundance and success. And the Eight of Swords. This is also a reminder that you have to remember that you are capable of so much. You are able to shape your reality. You are able to look at that. Look at all the abundance around here. You're able to receive all this. You're able to manifest all this. But you have to realize that you are not trapped here. Yes, this person is wrapped with, I don't know, cloth or something, but this looks loose. They could wiggle themselves out and then remove the blindfold and then just leave, right? There's so much space to leave. This person is not stuck in a tower or a cage. It's just, they just need to kind of wiggle their way out. So this is more about, there's a bit of struggle, maybe. There's a bit that you have to go through, but you have to trust that this is gonna lead towards success, lead towards what you want to be, what you want to do, okay? This is a very positive reading. Like, I think you just needed that little push, because there's only this, and maybe this, I don't see this so much as a negative card. I think this is a lot to do with your thoughts, especially with this card reminding you here that when your thoughts are not your friends, you have to remember to sort out the thoughts that just don't serve you anymore, because as we get older, we'll only regret the things that we didn't do. So it's just kind of like the things that you really want to do now, if you can, should try and pursue them, okay? Just trust the process. Trust that your guides are there for you. Allow them into your life. Okay, pile number one. So that was my message for you. And it's I feel like everything's gonna be, I know everything's gonna work out. I don't really have timings here, but this is a huge event. The moment that you allow yourself to go through with this, and I feel like there's a lot of learning to do. When you allow yourself to learn, to grow, to change, everything's gonna fall into place, one after the other, okay? So, pile number one, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you are doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. Thank you so much for letting me read your energies. Thank you for sitting with me in another reading, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. I'll see you next time for another reading. For now, take care. Bye. Hi, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. So this was the stone that you were drawn to. I don't know what it is, but it makes me think of like a little frog. So anyway, your stone is serpentine, whichever. Okay, so who needs it? Kundalini yogis or anyone in need of a fresh start. Okay, so when to use it? When it's time to let go of tired beliefs and get stuck energy unstuck. If serpentine arrives in your life, it's an invitation to rip off all proverbial band-aids and regroup. Hit the sauna, sweat it out, and release all lingering drama. Awaken your reptilian nature. That's why. See, okay, so I don't know if, no, I think frogs are amphibians. Anyway, close enough, right? So we'll put that here. So it's more about releasing. Okay, let's see what you need to release. Maybe old workplaces, but we'll see. We're gonna start by getting your oracle cards, and then we'll look at your tarot cards in a bit afterwards. So what does pile number two need to hear for their guidance when it comes to career? What guidance do you have for pile number two for their career, please? This and this. Thank you. What guidance do you have for pile number two when it comes to their career, please? Again. What guidance do you... Oop, this is the one. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. So you have resourcefulness with Sun. I nearly said Taurus. Sun in Cancer. And speculation with Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, so you got double Cancer energy here. Let's see. I'm hearing moving places. I don't know. Alchemy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not specifically related to this, but I was just hearing like moving countries or moving states, moving houses. There's some moving going on, some change in the domestic life. Okay, let's see some more with the cards here first. What guidance do you have for pile number 2? Ooh, pile number, okay, this one wanted to show, so we'll just keep that there. What guidance does pile number 2 need for their career, please? What guidance do you have for pile number 2? Oh, many. This one, thank you. So many cards coming together, so we'll take these. Double fours and doubles of cards. Okay, I don't know how many I have right now, but I think that's more than enough. We'll get some more if we need in a bit. So let's start by looking at this one. 8 of Swords. Batman. Death. Okay. Change, definitely. 3 of Swords. Strength. Interesting. Queen of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, we got Pentacles going one after the other. 7 of Pentacles. Nice. Okay. Knight of Swords. I think I can fit 2 more here. Let me just shift these. 7 of Swords. And the Empress. Okay, we're gonna look at the other 2 afterwards. Okay. Pile number 2. The first thing I was hearing with the move, when I was arranging these cards, and then I heard like moving, move. And then here with the Death, 8 of Swords and 3 of Swords, I feel like there is change happening when it comes to things that bring you pain. But it takes a lot of strength for you to move out of it. So let's say, I know this is career, but this could be a heartache as well. Because with speculation, for some reason, I was picking up like when it comes to the domestic domestic affairs, I don't know if some of you are going through like a separation with an ex-partner or something, but regardless, when it comes to career, there is also pain. Maybe it's something that you're not really happy doing, or maybe you had to choose this path because your family wanted it for you, and now you just feel like you can't get out of it. But it reminds me of the story that in a video I was watching, I don't know, a few weeks ago. There was this guy who was I don't know, when he was younger, he decided that the business, what was it? Let's say when it comes to business, that financial field, he felt like that would bring him the most money. And then so he pursued that field. But then afterwards, when he was gonna get that promotion towards like getting a really high paying job in the firm that he'd been working in for like the past almost decade, I think it was. So the moment that his boss sat him down and told him that you're gonna be promoted, he decided that he did not want that, because that means he could not escape. Like he could not leave anymore. And the way that he explained it was so much better than what I'm doing right now. But he felt like he was going to be trapped. 8 of Swords is about feeling trapped as well. So he decided to completely leave behind his job. Now, I'm not saying everyone can do this, but in his story, he left his job and he started again, just doing things that he loved. And I think this was in the documentary of The Minimalist, about minimalism, which is on YouTube if you want to watch it. But it's for free. They have this documentary where they talked about minimalism, and this is what I was seeing. Because Three of Swords, I feel like it's kind of like pain, or just kind of things that aren't making you happy. So that's why I was saying here that there is this feeling of being trapped, but then there's change that could happen. Like when you take that step towards change, you need this, and you have the strength, and you kind of muster up the courage to move forward. That's where I feel like this next phase of your life is. So I feel like you are kind of on the brink of kind of changing your path. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I don't know if it's really changing a career path or just changing countries to see other career options, but not changing, just moving countries, but also just around the area. So we're gonna see more of that in a bit. But here with the Pentacles, one after the other, and then you have the Swords, then the Empress. I'm hearing that something, money going down the drain. I don't know if you feel like that this career, maybe that example resonates with you a lot, that this career brings you a lot of financial stability. With the Queen of Pentacles, that's like feeling secure, also very nurturing energy. Maybe you feel like this is giving you a very comfortable life in terms of materialism, so then you're able to live the life that you wanted very comfortably. With the Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, at the same time, what is that? I was hearing living paycheck to paycheck. So I don't know what it is, but then it's like this Eight of Pentacles, I feel, is about working, you know, putting more energy, focusing on the skills. I don't know why I just heard like putting the house on, like, you know, when people gamble and then they put their house as a bet. I don't know what you call it. I can't remember the term exactly, but then their house is at stake. So I was like hearing that, and I don't know if some of you guys are going through that, but I hope you guys are okay. Because there's some sort of struggle here. Maybe that's the pain that you've endured recently, where you just feel like money isn't enough, even if you've got a lot of it. It's going somewhere. It's going somewhere that's where it's being wasted. So I don't know if there's like a vice, or if someone is spending your money. Maybe that could have been, maybe for some of you, very specific, but that could have been the reason for the separation in a marriage, in a relationship. But I feel like it's not enough. We'll look more into that in a bit. But with the Knight of Swords, Seven of Swords, look at these two animals. There's like overwhelm here. Seven of Swords is like needing to stand your ground as well. This looks like, look, it looks like this person is kind of out there either to defend them or to also attack them. But here with the Knight of Swords, I feel like it's preparing for danger. But look, they're blinded. You have to see what's going on very clearly. You have to focus on what it is, because let's say here with the Eight of Swords, they could be feeling trapped, but you don't see it clearly and you can get out of it, right? Here with the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Swords as well. The Knight of Swords is also protecting your energy, because then, like I said, standing your ground, because there are people who probably are trying to, maybe not obviously or not physically, but they want what you have, maybe. So it's more like trying to steal some of that energy. Maybe it's like I said here, maybe someone's leeching off of you. Maybe this is why I was seeing a relationship involved, even if this is a career related reading, because it's with finances, and maybe it's been a little bit like crippling you. here with the Three of Swords, it's like pain, emotional pain. Also, I'm hearing unexpected. So it could be, you know, this crow, if this is a crow, I'm sure it is. But this reminds me of the idea that they like shiny, shiny things. So then they like to go around, collect, and then they keep it for themselves. So this is leeching as well. I think you have to be very careful with your money and kind of put it's easier said than done. I was gonna say put your energy where it matters, but there's something about this situation that's just I also can't see it clearly. Look, because I think you're not very aware about what's happening either, or that you just do not want to be aware. But there have been signs that just kind of show that you or your finances are in danger. I wouldn't, danger is like a very strong word, but I would say like it's at risk. Okay, so let's say, for example, if your house, maybe you didn't realize your house has been put up for, I don't know why I'm hearing mortgage, but I don't know if that's right. It's not right. But it's like when someone took it because they owe someone money for gambling, and they say, okay, they put their house up there first, and then once they manage to pay off all their debt, then they can take back the house, something like this. So I'm seeing this kind of situation. I'm not saying that you are in this situation, but if you are, I'm gonna say that has to, like, you're gonna need to look for more legal help, because I cannot offer that. But here with the Knight of Swords, I think is reminding you to see things clearly before you charge. So let's say if people are, let's say, trying to take from you, it's better to see clearly so that you can avoid dealing with people like that now, because there are some leeches I'm picking up around you. People who know that you're very giving. And maybe it's even your workplace where they think that you're going to do everything to be able to work towards a goal. Now I'm seeing another one that's like you're working towards getting a new house or working towards moving, right? So then you are saving up a lot, and people are kind of saying, wow, you're so successful and all that. But then in the background, I'm also picking up like some people who don't have the best intentions for you. Like maybe they're jealous as well of your abundance, because here with the Empress here, it's like abundance and the ability to manifest things so easily. And look at the house, it's showing up again. I think this is like letting you know that that could happen. Like whatever you're trying to manifest, there is success on the way. It's just a matter of seeing things clearly before you take action. So let's say if in the workplace you've been putting a lot of energy into earning the money you need so that you can move, but you also have to pay attention to your energy. Alchemy here, the energy that you're putting out, so that you can manifest it better. Because I feel for some of you guys, you've been working a lot of overtime, trying to pay off some debt, trying to work towards getting more money, because you are not really satisfied with your current situation. But your guides are reminding you that if it doesn't feel right, like if chasing something is not feeling right, try not to force it. If you just allow it to not allow it to happen, if you choose the path that is much easier for you. How do I put this into words properly? It's like, for example, with this example of moving, okay, so let's say you have a plan to move countries, move companies, move state, whatever, move, right? And then you really try to force it to be the end of this year, okay? But then it takes a lot of force. Like you really need to force it to happen. So you're really kind of overworking. So like you're overworking, you're overwhelmed, you're just over fatigued, and it's just because you're trying to reach this goal by the end of the year. But why does it have to be at the end of this year? You know, I feel like you've maybe, for example, in this case, there has been a timeline, or a deadline, actually a deadline that's been imposed, but it's just arbitrary. It's like, not, there's no point to it. So let's say in that case, it didn't have to be by the end of the year. It could have been, you know, by the end of next year, or by 6 more months, you know. It's just, I think there's just too much rushing going on. And I think there was something about need of a fresh start. I get it. So there's the stuck energy, and I think that's why maybe there's like this need to complete something so quickly, but then they want you to approach this new beginning with clear eyes first, so that you can properly manage things and you won't be overwhelmed with this new start. Because I feel like your guides want you to enter this new start with excitement, with peace, with ease, you know. They don't want you to feel like you're trapped. I'm saying trapped by needing all this money. They don't want you to approach it that way, because let's say you managed to save up money for this house, and then when you see the house, you'll be like, I don't know what kind of energy I'm feeling, but it's more like disappointment in a sense, like you see it and you're like, oh, okay, and then suddenly it's just very fleeting excitement, and then it's always on to the next. So I think they're reminding you that in order to really embrace this new start, because I feel like they want to give it to you, but there's just a lot of forcing in here, and they want you to kind of allow things to just roll in their own time. It's very weird how I said it. They want things to happen in their own time. So let's say in the example that maybe it's not the end of this year, maybe it's in a few more months after this year. Just allow it to happen at the pace that it needs to happen, because I feel like there's some things that you still need to learn first before you can, like, some things you have to close off first before you can step into this new beginning. So here with the 8 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, you've got blindfolds as well. So they're reminding you to release pain that doesn't serve you anymore. So let's say grudges. I don't know if you hold grudges, but release those if it just doesn't serve you in the future, because holding a grudge is just, it'll make you age faster, I believe, and it just makes you feel unnecessarily burdened. Okay, so there's some releasing that you have to do, and also some reflecting, like really seeing things in a non-biased way, okay, before this new start can happen. Let's see your last 2 cards. 8 of Wands. Look at that, a tower. Like a tower. And the 9 of Swords. So this is overwhelmed. 9 of Swords. Look, you are protected with these spikes, but then you're still panicking because you don't see that, or you don't want to see what you need to deal with. You don't see that you have all these treasures with you, and this energy cannot affect you because you are protected, and your guides are reminding you that you're protected throughout the way. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of allowing things to take its time. I feel like you're someone who wants things to be rushed, especially with this 8 of Wands. It's confirming that with rushed energy, it's just gonna keep, I feel like it's something like you rush, and then you're just kind of gonna be used to this feeling, so that every time there's a new beginning, you're just always thinking that, oh, shouldn't I be stressed by default? But you're not. You're supposed to be able to enter this new beginning with ease and excitement. Okay, so that's what your guides want you to feel, and that's why they want you to pay attention first to things that you're doing recently. It's very general. I think it's like things in the workplace, things in your relationship, but the way that you are managing things, you should pay attention. And also the people around you. I don't know if some people are leeching, or maybe you're spending you're spending irresponsibly, maybe. So just kind of pay attention to where your money's going at the same time. Okay, pile number 2, that was your message. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I hope you guys are okay. It's gonna pass. It's just how ready are you to face this, okay? So thank you for letting me read your energy. Thank you for sitting with me for another reading. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you next time for another reading. For now, take care. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So this was the stone that you were drawn to. And I think this is the one that I always think is amethyst, but it's something else. So let's see. It's ametrine. Yeah, so who needs it? The chronically indecisive Libras. Okay. When to use it. If a deadline is on the horizon and you need a big idea. If you can't decide on something, swipe left or swipe right. Call on ametrine and remember, either way, everything is going to be amazing. Make your big dreams your big life is your phrase. Okay, so indecisive. The candle just went out. Hold on. Because we haven't started the reading yet, I'm just gonna like restart that candle so that we have something going on. Hold on. Okay, so we have a candle again. Okay, so we'll go back to your reading and we're gonna start by getting oracle cards just to see what guidance you need for your career or your ambitions, your goals. So let's see. What does pile number 3 need to hear? What guidance do they need for their career? Thank you. And this one also is calling. Thanks. So this is excitement. Okay. I'm hearing something new is happening. I don't know. Let's see. Get some more here. What guidance does pile number 3 need for their career? This one. Thank you. Okay. Put that aside. Let's see. You have excitement, Mercury and Gemini. I feel like networking as well. And discovery. Ooh, Mercury and Sagittarius. So there, I'm definitely picking up something like, I don't know if you guys can speak multiple languages. Also, networking. Maybe you're even working where in a field that requires you to communicate with a lot of people. Teaching even. Alchemy is your... Oh, this one also showed up for the previous pile. Okay. So, maybe some of you are going to travel as well. That's exciting. Okay, let's see. What does pile number 3 need to hear for the career? What guidance do they need for the career? Wow. Okay, so starting off with five of Pentacles. Well, let's get some more. So probably this message is not something you were expecting. I think with that 5 of Pentacles, maybe you just felt like, how is that gonna happen? How am I gonna start traveling? But we'll see. Maybe you won't travel. Maybe it's just about meeting new people, expanding your network. But we shall find out for you. Okay, I think that's more than enough. All right, let me just put this aside. Oh yeah, this is way more than I expected. Okay, let's see. So you have, sorry, look at this. 5 of Pentacles. Mercury again. Okay. 8 of Cups. Moving away, look at that. The Hermit. Yo, I realize how much more cards I have than expected. It's like I have a whole deck with me. Okay, but maybe you have a lot of messages that you need to hear. So, especially with this 5 of... I think this is your energy right now, 5 of Pentacles. The Hanged Man. 8 of Wands. Speed. The Hierophant. Oh, sorry, I thought it moved. The Hierophant. This, look, the colors. Very nice. Taurus energy again. Sagittarius. Oh, you've got Mercury and Sagittarius twice. Venus in Aries with wands. Duh. With 4 of Wands. Okay. you have the Magician. And oh my gosh, you have a bunch of cards. It's like a whole other reading. We'll look at that in a bit. Maybe we'll put that here too, thick. Queen of Wands. Okay, let's see what's going on. Pile number 3. Here with the 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. I think this is your energy right now. Maybe all of this. Hold on, because we have a whole set afterwards. So I think you're going through this feeling of loss, feeling of loneliness, of not being guided. Like you're asking for guidance and you follow the path, or you are going to follow this new path to discover maybe something new. You're putting something into action. I feel like you are beginning something, but then you're wondering if this is the right path anyway. I feel like there's some energy, like some feeling of regret, especially with this Hanged Man. This is when you're Hermit and Hanged Man, very similar in the sense that they are reflecting. Hermit is more about introspection and then kind of asking for guidance as well. And with the 8 of Cups next to it, it's definitely about, I feel that you have asked your guides for some messages, some signs, and now you're thinking, did I follow the right sign? Did I understand it correctly? But then I think they are reminding you to trust that what you have heard is the sign that you were meant to. And like they said, when you when you have a hard time deciding and then you ultimately refuse to decide, you are stuck. So in this case, instead of not deciding, you decide, and now you're thinking, did I go the right way? And in this card, they were reminding you that either way, it's gonna be amazing. And I feel like there are a lot of things coming towards you after you have put in the energy, but at the same time, it's probably overwhelming. And your guides are reminding you to, because with the Hierophant, I feel like it's representing your guides mostly, like the spiritual teachers that you follow, or maybe someone you look up to, like someone physically here who you look up to is kind of observing your moves, and you're just kind of a little bit afraid to, I'm hearing, face clients. I don't know if you are working as a freelancer and then you are kind of communicating with a bunch of people from all around the world, and so you are overwhelmed, you're scared, but then someone you look up to is reminding you that stay calm, take a deep breath, and everything's gonna work out. Here with the 4 of Wands, the Magician, and the Queen of Wands. Look at that. This is your energy here, I feel like. The Queen of Wands, regardless of how you identify as, this person is ambitious but also emotionally aware. So when you tap into this energy with the Hanged Man, try and ask to see things the way they are. And also, look at that. They look like they're blending into one another. Maybe this could also be, I'm seeing your guide sees you stuck and they're trying to reach out to help you. So they're giving you some things, but then maybe you suddenly just feel like overwhelmed and you're like, oh no, I don't know if I asked for all this. But then your guides are trying to remind you to take things one at a time. I feel like when you allow your guides, because I'm seeing this scene where you're asking for help, but then the moment the signs come in, you're suddenly so scared. I'm not sure why. You're feeling overwhelmed, you're scared, and then suddenly you're not sure if, because I think it's just so, maybe you didn't expect that you could actually ask for signs, and then the signs are so precise, so exact, and then you just kind of freak out and you're just like, shit, I don't know what I just did. Did I like summon the demons or something? Something like this. I'm getting this kind of fear. Not that you think your guides are demons. It's more like you didn't expect that you could get it so soon, the messages, And your guides are like, come on, like we were ready to give you all these signs, and the moment you asked, they just gave it to you. And I think now you're kind of maybe hoping to tone it down a little bit, but they're reminding you that all these signs they're giving you so that you can see, like you can get confirmation in a better way, so that you can get the signs and absorb them in your own way, and then understand them in the way that makes sense to you, so that you can make the decision to start and to work towards your goals. Like look, magician and alchemy, I feel like are always the same cards, where you can start something new. They are wanting for you to see the world of possibilities here. All it takes is because they see that you're stuck, and then you're asking for signs. Okay, so let's see what this is now going to talk about. But for this is talking about how you are moving into something new. You asked for guidance, and they gave you a lot for you to discern, decipher. So let's say, for example, if you ask for a sign about I can't think of an example, but let's say which country you should go to, for example. And then you start seeing a lot of ads and billboards about a certain country. And then suddenly you feel overwhelmed. This is not the best example, because maybe you would feel very happy that you can decide something so quickly. But in this case, it's just like overwhelmed. Oh, like for example, like in the movies, when people find out they have powers, and then usually people will think that's such a cool thing that they have powers, but then they just feel so overwhelmed in the beginning, and then they're just like all over the place, very messy the way they're directing their energy. So they're kind of reminding you to take a deep breath. Those mentors in the movies that are like, take a deep breath, you have powers, we're just gonna help you direct all that energy if you're willing to follow. So in this way, they're like, these signs, these things happen so immediately, so quickly, that you just have to remember that you've asked for signs. I'm not blaming you, okay? It's just more like, remind yourself you asked for signs, and just kind of focus on the signs one at a time, and so that it won't be as overwhelming, so that you can balance the fire, the water here, see, fire and water, kind of balance it out, and then you can see things clearly, and then you can kind of work towards your career more in a clearer way. Okay, so that's the first panel of cards. We're gonna look at the next ones. Ace of Cups, look at that. We're just gonna put that on top. So that's not okay, so it's gonna be enough. So this is gonna be the card that stays, I think, because let's see. Page of Swords, please cooperate. And then we have the Three of Cups. Oh, Four of Cups, a lot of cups now. So I feel like this is more about balancing the water with the fire, because I feel like career is a lot to do with the fire energy, like ambition, drive, passion. So now this is more like the calm, the stillness, and paying attention to your emotions. Okay, so Three of Swords. This is also one that I relate to with emotions. King of Wands. Look, you've got the Queen and then the King. Amazing. What goes in between? Two of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Look at that. I feel like these are stepping up a level. Like I feel like this is when there's calmness, there's emotional maturity when it comes to this, facing this situation. Now it's like the Ace of Cups, the Page. Let's look at this together. Hold on. A lot of cups here. Here I'm picking up a lot of networking here, especially with the Mercury in Gemini and Sagittarius. And you've got Mercury in Cancer. A lot of Mercury. I feel like dealing with certain people, networking with certain people is going to be very helpful for you. when it comes to maybe that's your sign. Maybe it was when a lot of people slid into your DMs. Like I said, communicating with clients. For example, if that was your case, that's why you felt overwhelmed, because then universe just sent you a bunch of people in your way, and you're just like, whoa, I don't know if I can do all this. Am I actually capable to do all this? So a bit of imposter syndrome as well. But let's see, Page of Swords. Yes, with the Page of Swords, maybe you just feel like you're not ready. But then there was the sign. Oh yes, the Page of Swords. This was the sign, was then when they brought people into your life who could be very beneficial for you, but also that you're kind of discerning the people that you allow into your life. So you're a little more careful now, but I feel like it's gonna be very emotionally fulfilling. I feel like you're more careful with who enters your life for some reason, or maybe the clients that you allow, instead of allowing. Okay, so let me say, for example, there's this situation where you can. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a very specific example because it makes me think of, like, let's say teachers online, where there are not softwares, applications where they can post their profile and then a bunch of students can find them. Okay, for example, let's say there is a case where you can just automatically can accept their requests, and so you don't have to do anything. The moment they send you a request, it's automatically accepted, and then you have a bunch of students on your timetable, right? So let's say in that case, you're overwhelmed, you don't know if you can handle it. So now you're able to filter that out. Or in another situation, you're able to choose your clients that you work with, so that you can choose to work with clients who really have not your best interests, but who really appreciate your efforts. So let's say for freelancers, no matter what field you're doing, whether you're working for art commissions or you are a graphic designer, there are some customers who are just very difficult to deal with and who just ask for a lot, but then they don't pay a lot. You know what I mean? So they don't pay fairly, and then they ask for so much corrections, I'm hearing. So let's say in this case, now you are looking, okay, do I feel like this client really wants to use my services, or just kind of knows that I'm very kind and that they just kind of want me to make a lot of corrections? I'm saying this in like a graphic designer kind of field, but in the case of teachers, maybe you can choose the kind of students that you want to have. Let's say, for example, if you realize that teaching kids is not very easy for you, that you want to teach adults, so things like that, you are kind of picking and choosing so that you feel more at ease and it's not overwhelming for you. Here with the Three of Swords, the King of Wands, I feel like this is more about this situation, how you learned from something in the past that was overwhelming for you. Maybe in your previous workplace, you realized that that's not something you wanted, and you're able to stand firm in your place, stay grounded, and kind of decide what you feel is better for you. Taking control. So let's say in this situation, it's taking control of who your clients are going to be, right? So with the Two of Pentacles, this is also like very decision-like. And the High Priestess, I feel like you're tapping into your intuition when making decisions now. I feel like this is the phase where you are much more hand in hand with the universe and the signs, and you've kind of balanced out, you know, like in the powers example again, it's like you've managed to control your powers. You've managed to direct them to certain places, to certain things now, instead of just like everything just going everywhere. It's instead of overwhelmed, it's more controlled. And I feel like this is the energy that you're tapping into. Having the King and Queen of Swords here is also like, I feel like very balanced energy. It's like you're able to be kind. Let's say in the example of your clients again, it's like you're able to kindly reject them, but also just be very firm in your decisions when you do not want to work with a client, but you're able to reject them politely. So things like this, very balanced energy here, and it's such a good thing. I feel like this is something you should look forward to. There's a lot you should be looking forward to, because I think after this balance, it's gonna open you up to a whole world of possibilities. That's the energy I'm getting. Pile number 3, that was your message. This is so exciting. So allow yourself to harness your intuition. Allow yourself to learn from mistakes, learn from past lessons, and don't think that you're a failure because maybe you chose one thing when the other was a better one. But we learn, we live and we learn, and then we make better decisions in the future, right? The best decisions that we believe were the best ones for us at the time. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you are taking care of yourselves. Thank you for letting me read your energy. Thank you for sitting with me for another reading, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you next time for another reading. For now, take care. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So this was the stone that you were drawn to. Very colorful. It looks like the colors we have on here. So let's see. It's called apophyllite. Okay, so who needs it? Anyone looking for that ray of light from on high to hit them with something good. Okay, when to use it? When the spiritual life feels like a moving target. When you feel skeptical about your true purpose on earth. When you feel like your yeah, but thoughts are dishonoring the innermost you. Beam yourself up, way up. So hearing this dishonoring part made me think of Mulan. Like you dishonor your family and dishonor your cow. So I'm not saying you dishonor your family, but made me think of that. So I don't know if you're a fan of Mulan. Also while shuffling, I was like thinking, I don't know, like this Japanese energy. I don't know if you're fond of Japanese things, but anyway, right off the bat, like reading this, I feel like it's more about here it says when you feel skeptical about your true purpose on earth. It's like maybe you're questioning if this is the right path for you. But let's see how it goes with the cards. We're going to start with your oracle cards, and then we'll look at your tarot in a bit afterwards. So pile number 4. What does pile number 4 need to hear regarding their career? What message do you have for them regarding their career, please? These two. Thank you. Okay. What does pile number 4 need to hear regarding their career? What message do you have for them? This one. Thank you. Okie dokie. Pile number 4, you have loss. Saturn and Pisces. Whoa, let me just look at that for a moment. Okay. And we have speculation. Was this in pile number 2 or? I think pile number 2 had this. I think there's this feeling, but then you're kind of also just really thinking about whether that's just a feeling or if it's really happening. Center. I see. Maybe for some of you guys, you are actually really just tapping into your spiritual side, and also maybe you're working more on grounding yourself. So that's why there's this thing where you're trying to balance whether it's just thoughts and you're just trying to reground, and instead of saying, okay, I'm just overthinking this is not really happening. And so I'm seeing this kind of energy here. Okay, let's see. What does pile number 4 need to hear about the career? Oh, okay. Oh, you've got Hermit, so that one wanted to show up right away. What does pile number 4 need to hear regarding their career, please? I think this is enough. Thank you. Okay, let's see what you have. We'll start with this one. It's the Hermit card. Okay. We have the High Priestess. Major Arcana cards already. Amazing. Oh, the Sun card. Oh, okay. Maybe just one more here. Can we do another? Let's see. I'm gonna try and... Yes, I can do 2 more. 3 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. I'm hearing practice makes perfect. If you don't get it once, try again. 7 of Cups. 3 of Wands. The Hierophant, look at that. And it's lining up with the High Priestess. You've got a High Priestess and the Hierophant. The 6 of Wands. Okay, so I think I can only fit 2 more here. 2 of Swords. Can I fit 1 more? And then we'll have an extra card to look at. Okay, 2 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. Okay, this one we'll look at in a bit. Pile number 4. Let me just absorb your cards for a little bit. Because here, I don't know if you have some tendencies for to be perfectionistic. Because I suddenly heard this, like, practice makes perfect. And then next to the 3 of Swords, it makes me think that maybe not getting something right the first time really upsets you. But that's something you've been working on. I think with this regrounding energy next to the next to the Hermit card and the High Priestess, I think you've been looking into yourselves and also asking your guides for help. This is also looking inwards, reflecting, trying to figure out things so that things work out. Kind of allowing yourself to see that things are okay if you get it wrong the first time. Doesn't mean you're a failure. But I think that's something your mind instantly goes to. So now you're unlearning these habits and you're trying to reflect. Okay, what is it? Oh, I'm hearing childhood. If this is really something that resonates with you, that you're looking back, doing shadow work, working on childhood wounds, seeing where that stems from, and then unlearning that you need to be perfect the first time around. So now you're trying to see things that you're seeing it in a way that's like, okay, I failed once, but just try again, you know? That's okay. You won't get it right the first time all the time. Sometimes you will, but you know, you don't have to be perfect. And I think that's something that you've been reassuring yourself, reminding yourself. That's why where this energy comes from is like, you feel like it's a loss, but then you're trying to think, is this really a loss, or is it just my brain making me think that everything's gone? Okay, so there's a touch of spiritualism going on in here, in the sense that you are grounding yourselves, you are really working on yourselves and reflecting and seeing things the way that they are, instead of immediately reacting to it the way you normally would. Because I think you've learned recently that it's not the healthiest way to go about certain situations. Okay, with the 7 of Cups here, 3 of Wands as well. I'm hearing there's so many options for you to start with. And I think maybe you've decided on something and you have started putting work into this. Like you've taken the first step. Maybe this is recently where you are unlearning this, and because you're like, okay, I won't get it right the first time, and you've decided, because there are so many options that you've been picking from, let's say in career, and then you're just like, okay, but I want to make sure that when I join this team or when I apply for this job that I'm going to be accepted right away. But then I think you've learned that when you applied, you weren't accepted immediately for a couple of them, but then there's one, I think, that you are actively trying to pursue. Like you really, really, really want to work with this team. Let's see. With the Hierophant here, I'm getting, it's more about guidance, but I'm trying to see if this is guidance from people around you or from your guides as well. Because then here with the Two of Swords, I feel like there's some dilemma here, but it's not for long. It's not something that's long-lived. It's like with the Eight of Wands or the Six of Wands. Ooh, I'm hearing working remotely or working on site. Because excuse me, sorry. It's like, let's say here, I'm picking up networking with this Eight of Wands here. Like you're working from home. Maybe you have a bunch of clients, or maybe you'll be working with your teams from all over, your teammates from all over the world. Maybe this is why you want to join this team, because you have the chance to either do this or going abroad and actually working at the base of the company, like working the HQ, yeah, the headquarters, and then actually meeting your team members there. So I feel like you're leaning more towards actually going there. But at the same time, there's also this energy of, am I just gonna be wasting my time and energy and resources applying and really trying to go after this dream, or will I succeed? And you're leaning more towards, yes, I will succeed, but do you really believe it? Because you have to believe that you will succeed. I know it's easier said than done, because especially when you're just trying something new and you don't want to disappoint yourself. I'm saying that there are other ways that you can succeed even if you don't get this post, you know? Let's say, for example, that you apply for this job and then it doesn't work out, but then you have to come out of the situation thinking that you still succeeded, in the sense that you know better how to prepare yourself for interviews, or how to approach companies, reach out to them, asking if they have open spots for their, you know, applications, like if they're accepting anyone. Or it's also like how you can see maybe what field actually makes you feel good, or maybe what doesn't really resonate with you. So here with the Hierophant, I believe this is representing lessons that you can learn from people around you, and also in life, like lessons that you can learn in life. Because with this Three of Wands and this Six of Wands, I'm getting some here with the Three of Wands, it's like a little bit of impatience, kind of. Because then, you know, like let's say you placed an order and then you expect it to, you keep on checking, but you know it's gonna take a week or so to arrive, but then you keep on checking. So it's like impatience in that sense. So I feel like they're trying to remind you to focus on other things that you can work on while you wait for the results of this. You know, like you apply, and then while waiting, maybe you can, I don't know, learn more about the company, or maybe you can apply for other jobs, things like that. So that way you won't feel like you've wasted time, resources, because yes, you're gonna have to reach out, network with people, and ask if they're offering any, if they have any offers for jobs or things like this. Regardless, you have to come out of it thinking that, and believing that you have earned something, you have learned lessons. And maybe even if you don't get it with your company, like maybe the dream company that you want to work with, or the dream field that you want to work in, doesn't mean that you failed. It means that maybe you just have to kind of try again, and then like work on something in the meantime, and then try again. Okay, don't immediately give up hope. Ooh, pile number 4. Let's look at your last message here. Seven of Wands, yes. Don't let life beat you down, I'm hearing. Don't give up hope just because it doesn't look like the way you want it to right away. Because like I said, things aren't always perfect the first time around, and usually we have to go through a few things before we finally end up in the place where we deserve to be, and where we're meant to be. So here, when you feel like you've lost your purpose in life and you are trying to find your way to that purpose, you have to learn that you probably won't find it the next career choice that you jump into. Okay, so let's say if you're moving from one one workplace to another, it doesn't mean that this one is gonna be the one. Maybe it will be, but I feel like you're probably gonna go through some things where you have to learn that things aren't perfect the first time around, and it's okay. It's okay if you jump a few times to different jobs, not that because you're just like, oh, I guess this is not the one because it's not the first one, so I have to jump to the next one so that I can reach my purpose fast enough. But I feel like if you were guided, because like I said, I feel like you're centering yourself more, you're more connected with your spirit guides and yourself. I feel like if you had to move, and if you actually do move or switch careers or switch fields, there will be purpose for that. Okay, it's not that you're just mindlessly jumping, and I don't think you're someone who'll do that. But also, just putting it out there, you don't have to do that. It's more like if you go from this job and then suddenly something happens and you had to look for another job, and let's say in this case you do find one, you apply for it, and then you feel comfortable, you feel good, and then suddenly you realize that maybe this is not the field for me. I feel like this is more of my field, artistic field, or maybe science, and then you go for that. So whenever you allow yourself to stand up for what you believe in, which is finding your purpose and also centering yourself, because I feel like you're someone who wants to work on how do I say, like staying in a job or even working on something that you're passionate about. It's not because you feel it's going to bring you financial stability or, success, not just that, but also that you're emotionally fulfilled, that you feel like you are living your purpose. So they're reminding you that it's going to take some time. It's going to be a big lesson that you have to learn here. And you have to release a lot of things that you learned in the past, that things have to be perfect the first time around. Maybe some people scolded you when you didn't do things right the first time, and so that kind of made you have this fear of failure. But they're reminding you it's okay, because no matter what happens, you're not gonna get scolded for it. Your guides are gonna allow you to see how you can learn from this, and then you'll be able to slowly make your way towards your purpose, because you will continue following things that feel good for you, and then you'll find your way. Okay? Oh, pile number 4, this is reassurance that everything's gonna work out. This is reassurance that life is not like a parent who's gonna spank your butt when it doesn't work out, like when you are not doing perfect the first time. Okay? So everything's gonna be okay. Trust that your guides are always with you, and whenever you're centering yourself, they are also seeing that you're centering your energy towards things that make you feel good, and they'll send more of that in your way. They'll send that more towards you, and you'll be living the best life you've ever lived soon enough. Okay? Trust the process. Trust that everything was meant to happen the way the order that they happen. Okay? Thank you, pile number 4. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you are taking care of yourselves. Thank you so much for letting me read your energy. Thank you for sitting with me for another reading, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time for another reading. For now, take care. Bye.